I was wrong. I told you after Monday's video, I was done with Turn Attack tournament videos, and here we are again. But to be fair, they're everywhere, right? Spider Turn Attack tournament currently ongoing. Sand Devil Turn Attack tournament currently ongoing. Ice Golem Turn Attack tournament coming up in 12 hours. There's a Dragon Turn Attack tournament going on after that. You can only say the words Turn Attack tournament so often before you start to lose your mind. But I gotta say, I am enjoying the content. I'm actually really having fun with these. And in today's video, I've got a good one for you. I know there's only 13 hours left here on this Spider Turn Attack tournament. There it is again. But I've been playing this for the last day or so, and I've been working on some teams. I've got a really good free-to-play friendly team for you to farm Spider 10 hard mode very quickly. Now, remember that this is a late game. It's still free-to-play friendly, but it's late game free-to-play friendly. But I have some other options for you as well if you can't get all the way to 10. And then I'm going to show off my best Spider Turn Attack team that I was able to put together with one of the very new champions that I just pulled in a recent shard pull video. People have been asking for content on some of those champions. Well, we're going to throw that in as a bonus. I am Col Red. This is Col Red Plays Turn Attack Tournaments. Let's get started. In case you don't know, I am a fully free-to-play player, and I am not part of the content creator program. What that means is when I make videos like I did today, where I spend maybe 100 million silver, few hundred energy, and some gems, those resources are coming out of my personally hoarded stock of free-to-play resources. I'm not getting them from Plarium or anywhere else. And they're also not benefiting my account. I mean, today they benefit my account a little bit. You'll see what I mean when you watch the video. But I'm trying to use these resources to benefit you and the community. So if you would like to return the favor, you can do several things. One is please smash that like button anytime you enjoy one of my videos. The second thing is subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because the more subscribers I have, the better off the channel does. And then finally, if you would like to support the channel more directly, you can come here to the Col Red Plays main YouTube page and click the join button, and you'll get several membership options where you can help us out and you get some perks along the way. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to your video. Here we are in stage 10 hard mode of Spider. Now this isn't the team that I landed on. This was just one of the teams that I started with, and I want to throw a couple of different teams at you just to get your brain thinking about how to theory craft a good team here. But I did want to start with Deacon, because I think Deacon is absolutely phenomenal here, and Thor is by far the best free-to-play damage dealer I think I've ever seen for hard mode Spider. If you're still using HP burns, that's great. You can use HP burns. But Thor actually just slams this particular dungeon harder than basically any other champion in the game, with just a few exceptions. So if you have the Thor, if you did the Thor fusion, then you're in good shape. So this is basically 2 epics, 2 recent fusions, and then a guaranteed champion. Not super free-to-play friendly. I don't think Freya was super free-to-play friendly. I did get her for free. But honestly, I was just looking to throw Freya into a team because I said I'm going to show some of my recently acquired champions as well. And Freya's not necessary. She's just here for a cleanse. That's basically all she's here for. So that could be a Doom Priest or another cleanser or a block debuffer, depending on how you want to speed tune it. Now, I will show you the speeds here and show you the concept. Basically, it's pretty simple. We're going to bring a decreased defense from Deacon. We're going to bring a weaken from Astrid. We're going to bring a Hex from a Kemptum. Thor is going to be the AoE damage. And then we've got Freya for the cleanse, because your slowest champion typically gets stunned if your entire team is faster than the boss. If you're whoever is like just barely faster than the boss, that's the champion who's going to get stunned. So it will be your slowest champion usually if you're going faster than the boss. Now, you don't need these speeds. You can see the speeds here, 300, 344, 251, 261. You don't need any of these speeds. In fact, you need your fastest champion to be faster than the boss. And with 2 turn meter fillers, then you just need to be speed tuned like you would for a go first arena team. So Deacon could be running probably at like, well, let's say Astrid's a fast. If she's running at 280, that's more than fast enough. 275 maybe. You can check the raid stages tool from hh.com or hellhades.com. And then the next champion just needs to be connected. So this could be like a 280 Astrid, a 250 Deacon, and everybody else could be at like 200 or 210. That would be totally fine. You do need some damage here. You can see my Thor is got 291% crit damage. He is in lifesteal gear. He can solo stage 6 in lifesteal gear, so, but it's not, it's fast. It's actually pretty fast, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. He can't do stage 10 solo. So that's basically the idea here. Like I said, this isn't where we landed. This is where we started. It's kind of a fun team, and maybe it'll give you some ideas. And again, if you have Thor, he's the guy you want. He's definitely the guy you want for this dungeon. So, quick note here. Astrid or Deacon, either one, is really good as your opening champion into Spider, because your first champion will typically have 8 Spiderlings to go against. But because both of these have extra turn mechanics before they land their debuffs, the 9th and 10th Spiderlings will drop and still get debuffed with either Astrid or Deacon. And that's not really true with most other champions. So you'll watch, like, Astrid's going to do her turn meter fill, and then the last 2 Spiderlings drop, and now she's going to do her weaken. So that's another reason why it's really great to have either Deacon or Astrid. You don't need both, but to have Deacon or Astrid as your fastest champion in Spider. Okay, so now Deacon's going to land his decreased defense, and then we get the nukes from Thor. Now, Akemthim's kind of irrelevant here. He's going to A1. You don't actually need Akemthim. He actually died. It's good to have a Hex champion. He was going to do his Hex on these Spiderlings later, but, you know, whatever. Again, Thor is in lifesteal, so you can see he just healed up. And this team is, I don't know if it's 100%, but I think it's probably pretty close. And Thor is really all you need with some turn meter fill. So again, I don't even know if our cleanse and our block debuffs is going to matter. As soon as Thor goes, it should be over. Get more Spiderlings down. And there it is. 19 turns. Not too bad. So 20 energy for 66 points. That's 3.3 points per energy here at Spider's Den Stage 10 of hard mode. But again, this is where we started. This is not our best team. This is literally our worst team. Relatively free to play. Again, Akemthim didn't even do anything. So you could put somebody else in this spot that would do something. A third turn meter filler, or another weakened champion, or a cleanser, or a healer, or another DPS. You could put in a Cold Heart here, or you could put in a Royal Guard or somebody else. We're going to see those champions in later compositions. Okay, so this was just a starting point. And again, Freya, completely unnecessary. Could be a Doom Priest. So I just wanted to show that team. But let's go ahead and do the next team that I came up with. I wanted to stick with free-to-play champions. And so I thought, well, let me throw in Cold Heart. Cold Heart is a champion that a lot of people focus on, so maybe a lot of people will have a well-built Cold Heart. We've got Lydia, we've got Mithrala, free champions. Again, we're sticking with the Thor here, and then we've got Renegade to do the reset for us. I'll show you this setup. This setup is not much different than the previous one, but we have no turn meter fill, so everybody needs to be running faster than the boss, or at least close to it. We do have an increased speed buff from Lydia. So we don't actually all have to be faster than the boss, but you have to be close. So you get an increased speed, decreased defense, and weaken. Thor, again, doing all the damage. Mithrala is a great Hex champion. She's also going to give us the increased attack. And then we've got Cold Heart running at 270. She's actually running pretty fast here. And then Renegade at 262. So I think Thor is the slowest champion, so he's the one who's going to get stunned. The important thing here is on her second turn, Mithrala will cleanse that stun, so Thor won't lose any of his turns. And that's basically what we're doing there. Again, you don't need quite these speeds, but you do need to be close to the boss speed, because the only acceleration you're getting is from Lydia's speed buff. So we should open with Lydia's A2. We'll get the debuffs out there. Now, in this case, you can see we didn't get him on all 10 champions, but it shouldn't matter because we're going to get a Hex out there. And that Hex is going to share that damage so that when everything gets hit, they're all going to die. So now we're going to nuke with Cold Heart's Heartseeker. At this point, I actually think Renegade's probably going to use her cooldown. Yeah, she's just resetting the cooldown. And then Thor, you can see he does more than 50% of the damage to the boss, right? Like 50% of the health bar is gone. Again, Coldheart did also use her Heartseeker, so it wasn't just Thor. But now we have the reset on Lydia. Now we're going to use the cleanse here. And now we've just got, I think, an A1 or an A2. And now Thor nukes again. And we don't quite clear the boss. I don't know if there's a way for this team to get enough damage to clear the boss on that shot. It would be nice. Maybe with Kymar. If you had Kymar, because then you get a full cooldown reset for Coldheart. So if you have Kymar, that's going to be better than Renegade here. But again, this isn't going to be much of a problem for Thor. As long as you keep Thor alive, you're in good shape. So again, this is 17 turns. I think the previous one was 19. So slightly better. And this seems to be where this one keeps landing. So here we're at, what's that, 3.35 points per energy. So really good farming team here. But of course, this has Lydia. And part of the issue with Lydia teams is, even though I'm talking about late game, Lydia is still hard to get. Mithrala, I think, is easier to get. People should be getting Mithrala by the time they're trying to reasonably do a speed farm on stage 10 of Spider's Den hard mode. But Lydia is a different thing. So I wanted to do a team that didn't use Lydia. So I kept thinking about it, and I was like, all right, let me see if I can come up with something that's even more free-to-play friendly. I was like, all right, well, let's really go free-to-play friendly. Like, let's go more towards epics and get rid of Lydia. Let's get rid of Thor, because maybe people didn't do the fusion. You know, let's not worry about Astrid, because maybe people didn't do the fusion. And let's just go with champions that, like, most late game free-to-players will have. Everybody should have a Coldheart. Everybody should have a Mithrala, a Deacon, and a Royal Guard. Maybe not a Deacon. I mean, if you didn't start with Deacon, Deacon can be a little bit tricky. But everybody should have everybody else. And then we've got Seer here. Now, I know sometimes for some people, you're not going to be able to get Seer in 2 years. Sometimes that happens. I don't have a Geo 3.5 years in. But it's not 100% necessary to have Seer in this, but this really is a Seer comp. I think you probably need Seer here. If you don't have Seer, you need Thor. There might be a few other champions that you could replace there, but Seer is the most free-to-play friendly champion in this role that I could think of for at least the result that we're going to get. You might still be able to put together a team with like a second Royal Guard or something, or a second Coldheart that would work, but you're going to see exactly how this one works. This one is beautiful. This is really a nice team. I like this one a lot. So what's going to happen here is, again, Deacon is now our fastest champion. There's no Astrid, right? So he's going to turn meter fill everybody. Everybody is faster than the boss except for Royal Guard. But you can see Royal Guard's running at 232, gets the 19% speed aura, and then the 15% turn meter fill. So he's going to be faster than the boss. And that's really important. He has to be faster than the boss. But this speed tune also matters. Mithrala must be the second fastest champion here, because you need her in that spot to get the hex out and to also cleanse in the right spot. And it's not so much the cleanse here, it's the strengthen and the shield that you want. Like, you'll see what I mean when we get around to it. So in this particular case, it's got to be Deacon, then Mithrala. Now, the third fastest champion could be Seer or could be Coldheart. It doesn't really matter. It's better if it's Seer, but it could be okay if it's Coldheart. Like, either one. Royal Guard must be the slowest champion on your roster. Like, not on your roster, on your team composition. So he must be going in the 5th spot. So it has to be Deacon, then Mithrala, then Coldheart or Seer as the next two, and then finally Royal Guard. So you can see my Seer is actually pretty fast here. She also has a decent amount of accuracy. Accuracy is helpful here because we're actually going to use her weaken, right? She is the weaken champion here. And so we're going to use her weaken. Now, it'll probably work even without her weaken because we still have the increased attack and the hex and all that. But I just thought, oh, I could bring in a weakened champion who's also an AoE damage dealer. Let's bring in Seer and try this out. So I want to show you this team. This is a beautiful clear. I love this clear. I'm really happy about this team. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So the first thing is we're going to get that Deacon. And again, Deacon's going to pull those 9th and 10th Spiderlings into the fray because of his extra turn mechanic. And then he's going to land a decreased defense on everybody. Now we're going to get the Hex out there from Mithrala. Okay, so now this is a place where it like helps to have Seer going faster than Cold Heart, but it's not super necessary because she's going to go ahead and do her A2, which gives an AoE weaken and an increased crit rate, which is really nice because, I mean, Cold Heart's Heartseeker only needs 70% anyway, but it allows you to potentially build Royal Guard with less crit if you want to. All right, so now we're going to do that A2, and now we get Cold Heart. You can see Cold Heart is just nuking the boss, but look at how low the Spiderlings got, right? Because of that Hex out there, the Spiderlings took a bunch of damage from Cold Heart's Heartseeker. Now Royal Guard's going to blow up everybody with his A2. And look how much damage we've put down onto the boss here. Okay, so that was a counterattack from Mithrala. By the way, my Mithrala does have a 5-star Brimstone, but it's not necessary. If it doesn't land, it's still going to work. So now what's going to happen is she's going to cleanse, but she's also going to give us more buffs. She's going to give us a strengthen and a shield here when she cleanses. So now everybody's got 5 buffs. Okay. Deacon has to go here because he's the fastest. He's just going to A1. But now Seer's going to strip all those buffs and nuke everything out. And again, 10 Spiderlings are down. And then we're going to also hit the boss. 10 turns. 10 turns. How good is that? Ooh, that's nice. Okay. So 10 turns. Only 1 legendary. It's a free legendary. And I know that you need Seer to do this. Again, you're looking at my Seer and you're like, well, she's got 6-star blessing and all that. Like, first of all, free to play. I'm free to play. I got all of that. But you don't need those damage numbers from her. You're getting 25 buffs that you're removing on that final hit. So I'm thinking, you really don't need her to be crazy, crazy strong. This is the best free-to-play team I could come up with for my roster in 1 day of testing. But let me know if you can come up with an even better free-to-play option. I would love to hear that. Now, I'm not done yet, though, because I still have to show you my best team. My best team is not super free-to-play friendly, but it's actually not horribly bad. It is, in fact, kind of using some of the champions that we've already used before. Both Mithrala and Lydia are free champions. Newt was a former fusion, and then Cold Heart, obviously. Now, I've pulled Sulfuryion recently, and this is the champion that I wanted to show you. And honestly, he didn't come into the team until very late, because I was using Thor in that spot. I was using all sorts of things. And then I was like, well, what about like an HP burn activation thing? I was like, wait, I just pulled Sulfuryion. So literally, you can see he's only level 42. He has 6 stars. He's not booked. He's completely unbooked. I'll show you my my Sulfuryion here. He's running decently fast, actually. I was able to get him in some good gear. I did put him in reflex with perception. It's not even glyphed yet. And his stats are solid. His stats are solid, especially his speed, 288. Right? He's got 486 accuracy. He's going to be a PvE champion for me, so I don't know if people run him in PvP. I don't see him that much. Every once in a while I do. But yeah, so plenty fast. So let me show you the setup for this team. Now, in this case, Lydia is the fastest champion, so she's going to get her A2 out there. Mithrala, I believe, is actually 3rd. Yeah, so Sulfuryion will go 2nd and do the HP burn. Now, his HP burn also activates on the same turn. So this is why there's so much extra damage here, because we're not killing the Spiderlings, right? We need Sulfuryion to go before Spiderlings start to die, so we can get 10 HP burns to fire. So 10 HP burns should be 30% damage. Then we get the Newt 30% damage from his A3. Plus he kills all the Spiderlings. That's another 30% max HP. So these two champions give us 90, and then Cold Heart gives us 10. That's literally it. This is 100% max HP damage from 3 champions, plus the little bit we get from like Mithrala hitting and Lydia hitting. So unless there's a weak hit, which there can't be, it's basically a one-shot. It's like everybody goes and the boss is dead. So each champion should go 1 time, should be game over. And if we get lucky with like War Masters and Giant Slayers, it might only be 4 champions. So let's go ahead and show this. I love this team. This team is so good. And again, Sulfurion's not free to play friendly. And I know Newt's an older champion, but a lot of people have him still. And the other 3 are free to play friendly. So we're going to get the A2 from Lydia here. And we're going to get now we're going to get Sulfuryion, the HP burns. And look how much damage that was, right? Awesome. That's awesome. And then go ahead and we're going to get the Hex. And now this is what I love about Newt, because not only is he going to smack the boss so hard, but he's going to kill all the spiderlings because of the Hex. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. And he's got the Reaper on the end. But look how close I am. Look how close I am. Doesn't quite finish it. And then Cold Heart here just with a shot. Now, I still want Cold Heart at the end because you can see this is 5 turns, but my best is 4 turns. This sometimes finishes in 4 turns. So I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can get a 4-turn run. So let's just see how that would look. So again, I just love this team. And I love Sulfuryion. He's so much fun. I love having him. I'm so glad I got to use him here. I don't know if I had the Hex out first, if that would be faster. Yep, and there we go. 4 turns. Awesome. 10 seconds, 4 turns, free to play. 85 points on 20 energy. So 4.25 points per energy. That's the best I can do. I don't really know how to do better than that with my account. I suppose, like, if you had 2 Newts, you could go Lydia into Newt, and that would be it, and that would be 3 turns. Let me see what the teams of the week are. Yeah, so I think a lot of these teams, are not for turn attack tournaments, right? They might be fast, but in the cases of a lot of them, they're doing it with food. But you've got 2 champions here, right? Just a Crizia and Marius. So yeah, Crizia would make a lot of sense. And then a lot of Newt teams. No double Newts though. But Lydia and Newt, just like we were talking about with Marius. So yeah, that's basically the same thing. So yeah, maybe 3 turns for those teams, but this is the best that I can do. I feel like I'm elated. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have found a really good free-to-play 10-turn team with Seer. That's such a fun comp. And then get my Sulfuryion going right away, giving value to my account. This is a 4-turn, 10-second clear. That is so much faster than I was clearing a month ago. Like, I was clearing in like 40 seconds a month ago. And now I broke a team. I had a team that was doing it in 30, and then I broke it when I improved Newt, and then it was doing it in 40. And now I'm doing it in 10. So, all right. Let me know what you think about my team compositions. And if you say they're not free to play, I understand that. But again, late game or end game free to play. And I am free to play, so I acquired all those champions free to play. But again, Sulfurion's not. I get that. That's not what I'm talking about. But also let me know if you have any other free to play quick farming stage 10 teams, or if you learned anything from the video. All right, that is it for me tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out. I have been Col Red. I will see you in another Turn Attack Tournament video soon.